Hello everybody, how y'all doing today? Welcome on in, I'm DC. You can find me all across the internet, DC Lasair. And let me pause this a second. There you go. Anyway, !DC in chat will bring up all my links, dclasair.com and my Blue Sky profile. So go give me a follow, read my stuff, it'll be great. Also, !AF will get you a couple affiliate links. First one that comes up will be Doris, which is a new link in bio site. They do link shortening and they're a blog platform and a bunch of stuff to manage your digital life. So use my affiliate code. And if you like what you see, you can use my discount code DCLasair to get 30% off for 3 months. Also, Fantasy Grounds, they're a VTT and came up with a beautiful new reader app now in beta. And if you use my affiliate link, if you decide you want to purchase something through Fantasy Grounds, a little bit of that comes to me. So yay. All right, welcome on in. Brian, hello. How are you? Good to see you. Here, make sure my post posted. It did. Yay. There's the Blue Sky post if you need it. And now the check to make sure everything's working because I'm still trying to stream at multiple places in multiple ways. Let's do a refresh there. And scroll over, see what this looks like. Okay. Looks like I'm good. Yay! Imagine checking out my stream before I actually get into the show. So weird. Anyway, tomorrow, pulling out a book. Tomorrow will be my first home game with Tanya. Hello, welcome on in. Tomorrow will be my first home game involving this book here, Shadow Dark. So that ought to be fun. It'll be the first time for all of us playing this. So that book is a lot, isn't it though? It's the special hardcover variant. There's like a soft cover variant too, but yeah, that's a hardcore cover right there. So we'll see how it goes. And then Monday, before we start into Suikoden 2 again, I'll talk a bit about how it went and things we did and a couple of the homebrew rules for it that we're using. And what I thought I got right and what I need to practice on some. But yeah, so my home game, we're switching up systems for a little while before getting back into D&D. And it ought to be pretty fun. Plus, I get to try out my Obsidian Vault that I built specifically to keep track of TTRPG campaigns. You know, the thing I'm eventually going to release so everyone can use it. Yeah. That thing that I have to make a video on. So there's written and video instructions. Yeah, that thing that I've been talking about for a couple months now. I should really get on that. Right. So if you were here yesterday, you saw the ending of Suikoden 1. And we started into Suikoden 2. And I liked Suikoden 1. It was a good game. However, in the first 5-10 minutes of Suikoden 2, I felt more engaged in the story, which was excellent. So Suikoden 1 is a good game. Let me get it wrong, but Suikoden 2 already did some storytelling things where I'm hooked that much more into what's going on. So I'm looking forward to doing more of that on Monday. Also, I found a zero sugar sweet tea that I kind of like, that you can get a big old gallon container of, called Milo's, Milos. So after this, I'm going to go up to the grocery store and get another gallon. So I have some for the weekend. We're playing over Discord tomorrow. A friend of mine is getting over a flu. And my other friend has some vision issues, so that he can, my one friend can not infect us with a bunch of germs and still play, and my other friend can use their monitor up close to where they need it and, put their eye on where they need things. Now you just need to go back and check in on all those people's lives you changed at the end of the first game, right? Because in Suikoden 2, we've already seen some people from Suikoden 1 come in, because it allowed you to use some of the game save data. And I don't know how much of that actually affects Suikoden 2, but we'll find out together. It'll be a fun journey. All right. So today is Tech Friday. Yay! We're going to be talking about the CES 2026. That's the Consumer Electronics Show. All the big hardware announcements come out for the year, all the big companies. So, I'm sure there'll still be other things that come out that are cool, and we'll talk about them. But the first thing I wanted to bring up that I really liked, in fact, it's probably one of my favorite things to come out of the CES, is by a company called Clicks. Right here. And there's two devices. Let me see if I can go to the demo. Yeah. So they have this communicator. Let's see. Give you a dot here. They have the communicator, and they have this keyboard. This is about $350, $400, somewhere in there. This here, the Bluetooth keyboard, is about $80, I think. And it's a physical keyboard that goes Bluetooth. I really like this keyboard here. You're able to get discounts with Clicks, and ordered the power keyboard from them. Yeah, this looks cool. There's MagSafe chargers, so if you have a room on the back of your phone, especially like an iPhone, you can plug into it. But it's also Bluetooth, so it will work with anything that has a Bluetooth connection, which is amazing. This is an Android device, and it's meant to be sort of a companion piece. Like, you have your cell phone, and then you have your messaging device. And if it runs Android, you can see there's cellular connection. So that's why this is more expensive. I do like the look of the physical keyboard on here. I think it would be nice. If I got anything, it would probably be the communicator, or the power keyboard. Because, again, I can use it with anything that has a Bluetooth connection. I'll have a portable keyboard, so I could use it with my... I have a Fire Stick in the other room. I I could use it with that. I could use it on a tablet and whatever. I just have this portable mini keyboard, which is fantastic. And this here, oops, this little bit here, see where this line is? This slides up. As you can kind of see here. So you can connect it to the back and you can slide it so it fits on the back of your phone. You know, if your phone has a magnetic connection on it. Premium typing, multiple devices. This is easily one of my favorites. Here it is. You can, go back to that first picture, not that one. But as you can see, you can also, when you separate it, pause on this picture a second. So when you lift up or not when you lift up, but if you use it just like this, you can also just put your phone horizontal on it and use it like that as well. And I really think this is probably my favorite gadget on it. Of course, they plug the iPhone hard, but they do have a listing somewhere of all the phones that'll work with. And as you can see here, when it's collapsed, when it's open, and the back side of it. And oh yeah, right down here in their FAQ, what phones are compatible, basically anything with a Bluetooth. I think that's great. And I just read an interview today with the creator, and it's like, well, why make this device? And he said, well, we're seeing a lot of more dedicated devices, and they're proving popular. So you have your phone, but you also have a dedicated MP3 player. So they thought a communicator, something that just is good at messaging. You could put other apps on it because it's Android, but just have something that's good at messaging. And then you have your phone and something you can text and email with. And that's one of their, that's, the guy who runs the company, that's his line for it. Again, the buttons look nice. I do like having the physical keyboard, and it has a fingerprint sensor on it. Yeah, that's cool. You can get a little message hub. And a variety of backplates. It gives you approximate size and compares it to the iPhone and the Samsung phones. And then can communicator be used as primary phone? Yes, absolutely. It's a standalone smartphone that runs Android 16. So you could use it as your phone if you wanted to, or as a dedicated device. But they give you some extra specifications down here about that too. So just read all this. If you think you might want to use it as a phone, read all this first. Because it's more meant to be a secondary device than take over your actual phone. But up to you how you want to use it. And I was amazed at, how small it was. The reviews of the people trying it at CES were very good. they all like typing on it, so it was a good experience. And I really think that it's a great device for the year. The other thing I thought was pretty compelling. I think people who like the Sidekick will really like the power keyboard. Yeah. The other thing I thought was pretty compelling was the Lego Smart Play system. They now have a smart brick. And this is pretty cool for a number of reasons. There we go. So it's still the standard Lego brick, right? But inside of it, they pumped a bunch of technology, and it can work with certain figures and other bricks, and there's little controls in them that responds to twists, taps, and more. You can just plug them right in. You don't need a separate app. Does some things, but like right here in this picture, you can see, can have it make a sound when it's up like this. And so Lego coming in saying, hey, let's do the thing. So you have a smart minifigure, the smart brick itself packed with sensors, and then the smart tag. Oops. And you can kind of see how these go together. That sounds like a little jet. There are a couple of sets already. There are some Star Wars related sets right down here. These are up for pre-order. So you can get Luke's Red 5 X-Wing, Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, which personally I'm kind of into the TIE Fighter set. And then you can get the Throne Room Duel and A-Wing for R60. But I'm liking this TIE Fighter bit here. You have one smart figure. And these bricks are amazing because they're still Lego brick size, and they just pack technology inside of it. Right? That's what gets me, is that this is still Lego brick size. They didn't change that. It works with all their Lego sets. But yeah, sounds, moods, or tell smart bricks what sounds, moods, or reactions to unlock. You get one of the smart bricks. You can recharge the smart bricks. The adult Lego enthusiasts who are totally buying this for my kid, I swear, are going to love this. Yeah, they are. You know this is for the grown-ups. They may show a kid in the advertising, but this is for all the AFOLs out there. That AFOL is adult fan of Lego, by the way, AFOL. You can Google it, and you might find an AFOL community in your area. And there's all sorts of brick traders, and it's a whole thing. But yeah, this I was really impressed with this. Again, squishing technology into a Lego brick. Just great. All right. And another thing that you'll probably hear a lot of and is pretty cool in display technology is a term you'll see called micro RGB. And there are a lot of micro RGB TVS at CES. Here is an article from Engadget breaking down what that means and what it is compared to mini LEDs or OLEDs. And so micro RGBs have a better color space. Do you have more strings of letters you want to say? Yes. Because micro RGB can also be known as RGB mini LED. So so the idea is that's it, I'm leaving. The idea is that, and this from the article, is that it features individually controlled, precise red, green, and blue LED backlights that shine through a liquid crystal layer. So it offers what they call more local dimming zones compared to, say, OLEDs. And the people looking at it were really impressed with the technology. And so you're going to see these terms, micro RGB or possibly RGB mini LED, a lot this year. And they're in TV. They look really, really good. Still kind of a little more pricey range for the tech because it's the first year of it. But, you know, they'll put in smaller TVs and the price will come down as it progresses. But yeah, if you want really sharp colors using just, you know, even at 4K and 1080p and all that, you want really, really good colors. Look for micro RGBs. It's a very interesting display tech. So check out that article I posted for breakdown. They do a good job with a short amount of time in breaking down OLEDs and QD LEDs and all that, and what all that means, without getting too far into the weeds. And just enough to give you an idea of what's going on with it. So yeah, it's a really good display technology. There's no point in showing you a picture of it because you're just going to see it at the resolution of your monitor or whatever that is, right? I can say, ooh, look at this. It's like seeing an advertisement on TV for a TV with better colors, but how do you know it's just your TV showing you a picture of a TV, right? But the tech specs are impressive, and again, according to multiple reports I read, the colors on it, you know, of people that saw it live at CES, the colors on it are very impressive. So you'll see more of those floating around. And those are kind of my top 3 things to mention. But of course, I have a top 4 because there's one thing related to a device I always talk about, and that is the Stream Deck keyboard. So here it is, the Galleon 100 SD, a new era of input even. Ooh, I like that marketing, right? As you can see, it's a keyboard with a Stream Deck on the side, a touch screen, 2 knobs. I would like it if the picture stopped moving. Here we go. So same function. Now this is a premium keyboard. It's $350. But you have all the functionality of a Stream Deck on a keyboard. And they talk about the switches here, you know, unmatched speed, all that, you know, sound dampening. So you're not just getting a keyboard. They're like, no, we put more technology into this keyboard than just slapping on the Stream Deck on the side. And you can see how to customize, you know, the keyboard here, and then you know, do the Stream Deck app thing for the Stream Deck portion. So the Corsair Web Hub for the keyboard, the Stream Deck app for the Stream Deck bit. There you can see it kind of in action. But yeah, that's a small screen, 2 adjustable knobs, all these buttons. Let's catch up with tap. But they were all deceived, for a 4th top was created. Wait, that sounds dirty. Hi, Rex. Welcome on in. So yeah, here's all the specs of it. Do I need to save up for this? No, I don't. Would I accept one if given to me? Yes, I would. Yeah, because I'm very happy with my keyboard, and I do have 3 Stream Decks in front of me. But imagine if I had a Stream Deck just to the side of my hand. You know, it's not enough that I have to reach a few more inches to hit my Stream Deck. I could save the inches. Imagine the possibilities. Okay, that flashing's getting to me. Go to this picture. All right, so those were those sort of really big, impressive things, and there's a lot, right? You will find all sorts of articles on and YouTube's on, you know, our favorite CES things and top CES, and I'll put in some top bricks. I am already grounded and will not engage with this inch saving talk. So there's a few other things I wanted to go over. Let's see here if I can get this link to come up. There it is. And there we go. So a company called Khadis, Khadas, has a different take on the modular PC. And yeah, you have basically a base unit, and you know, you connect it with the keyboard, and you can have a graphics, can connect it to a graphics card, or I'm not sure what that thing is. Yeah, I'll say that. But it's a pretty neat idea. You just take the base unit and you connect it to the things you need it to go to. You could do a portable display, right? Could make an eGPU. They have all sorts of products. But we're concerned with their Mind Graphics 2, Mind X Play, and the Mind Pro, which is a modular mini PC. And so yeah, one device you can connect to all sorts of things, all sorts of different modules to play with. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Wait to hear more about it, get some reviews out. I'm like, that's neat. And kind of along with that, get into a laptop here. Now there was a couple of neat laptops, but one of them is the Asus ROG, that's ROG Zephyrus Duo. That's a mouthful. This thing. And as you can tell, it's keyboard and 2 screens. Do it all. Look at that. Duo it all. Nice, nice. As you can see, keyboard, 2 screens. And you can see all their lines here, but yeah. This looks pretty good. Tom, welcome on in. Thank you for the raid. Y'all go watch Tom's streams. They're great. Doing a lot of photography and a lot with No Man's Sky recently. We were just talking about the ROG Zephyrus Duo, which has these 2 mighty screens and a slim keyboard all in one little package. And as far as laptop technology goes, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. I like that. And while we're talking about kind of screen things, I pulled up a Engadget article for this one because they do a little hands-on thing and give you a better impression of it. And it looks really neat. I really like the look of this. It's the Galaxy Z Trifold. You know I like the folding phone. And there's the picture of it. 3 screens. It's a little thicker than other phones, but it's 3 screens, right? They're sort of the bulk of it, as you can see. The Z Fold 7's here. Here's the Trifold. You can see the difference. And this kind of a thorough review of it. It is expensive because, I don't know, folding screens are a lot of money. So it could be as much as $2,500, which is ridiculous for a phone. I just really like the tech of it. More than, no, I'm never paying that much for a cell phone, ever. But yeah, hello, welcome on in. Good time zone. How you doing, Rena? Yeah, so really cool tech, really expensive tech, but very neat. I All right. And there is, as long as we're talking about displays, and Samsung, see if I can. Block that. Okay. Samsung also had a thing, and this article comes from Tech Radar. It is a creaseless folding OLED display. It's very much a tech demo. Now, it's not quite the same thing that's in the Galaxy trifold that we just, or Z trifold thing, whatever those letters were. But this forms a completely, you can fold it up and it's a smooth surface when unfolded. I'll take a look at the picture here if I can. Zoom in on it a bit. Just a second here. I'm trying to. Oops. Oh, right. I can do this. Okay. There you go. That's it unfolded. And look at that. Look how clean that looks. So this isn't in any technology yet. And it's kind of a proof of concept device, but it's pretty cool that you can kind of see where it's like the trifold, where there's little dents where it folds up. But look at how nice and flat that looks. All right, let's close that. Close that. All right, and going to a different topic, or a different category. Earbuds. There were a lot of earbuds there. But one of my favorites was, and this is another article on Tech Radar, it's from a company called Shokz, Shokz, and they have these open earbuds that do noise reduction, and they're open ear. So there they are. Nice design, good looking. Again, $300. Oof. But you can go through the article and list all the tech behind it. So if you're into what's going on here, I really like the design. I like that they're open ear. They seem pretty cool. And so yeah, that's pretty much my top things that I saw so far from CES. There's a bunch of other stuff I have. Go through. Shure made an announcement of a new microphone. You can take a look at that. Is $160, not bad. And it's a USB-C stereo microphone. And Shure is a very trusted name. It looks pretty good. Has kind of different mounting options for it. Like, look, it's USB-C, so you can just, and it's small, so you can attach it and direction it onto your cell phone. Right? So you can plug it into iPhone or Android. Become ball, right? And so yeah, it's quite a nice piece of technology we got going on here. You can see all the pictures, and yeah, so pretty nice looking device. They really mean it to be plug and play. The USB-C microphone is a very cool way to get around the fact that most mobile devices won't just connect with mics outside of a proprietary app. Yep. Then you get 5 customizable presets, 4 polar patterns, all this fun stuff. And you know it's probably a good mic because Shure has been in the business of making mics for many, decades. So it's gonna be good. So yeah, if that's something you're into, that's pretty good. All right, the Shure has a mini podcast enabling SIN account for true. Yes, they do. Another big announcement, and again, I like the Tech Radar article for this, was that Dell computers, they killed off the XPS line last year. They're bringing it back this year because they realized it was a mistake to get rid of one of the trusted names of their product lineup. So there's a new 14 and 16 XPS coming out. That's amazing. And so you love to see it when companies realize that their branding, actually, they built trust and make a difference. And why are they getting rid of it? HBO Max. Nothing. What? Where we talk about? Oh yeah, Dell XPS. So they're bringing back the XPS, and they're pretty good looking too. Nice looking machines. I thought that was pretty cool. If you want some overviews, we have a few. Oh, NVIDIA did make a bunch of announcements, but they were more enterprise level announcements. But I do have an article from Engadget if you want to see them. Only a couple of consumer announcements, but they're all right there in that article. And another Engadget article, Anker, just here's more ways we've designed a portable power brick. So you can see all those there. There's some cool ones in their lineup, but there's a lot of Anker products right now. Like what type of design do you like to charge your devices with when you're on the road? Because they probably have a design for you. Right. And just a little cleanup. Another article on Tech Radar. The 8-bit Duos Flip Pad controller to play retro games on your phone. Take a look at this. You can see right here, it's got this little hinge thing, and it just kind of comes up around onto the phone. Made for smartphones, so iPhone and Android. Slots into the USB-C port. Just like a Game Boy Retro controller, yeah. Probably summer 2026. For that. And now I'm just going to send you some overview links. Let's see here. So Android Authority has one. So if you want to see more products, there is a bunch of robot vacuums that were pretty cool. One had wheels. One can now go upstairs, so already better than early Daleks. Let's see here. In gadgets list. And Tech Radar also had a list. So there's plenty of gadgets to look at and fawn over. Again, my favorite thing is that clicks keyboard. I just think that's cool. It is very, very practical. I don't really see a downside. Right? The communicator idea is pretty nifty too, but again, we're talking over $300 for this. But the keyboard itself, the power keyboard, you can use it so many different places because it's Bluetooth. It easily fits into a bag. I like that the buttons are raised slightly. You know, they show it that magnetic thing that can connect to the back of your phone. Does offer some wireless charging if you can take advantage of that. But to me, this was the best, most practical thing that I saw, because I could just keep this in my pocket, go around to a different room that has, you know, whether a game console is hooked up to it or a Fire Stick, whatever, and I can have a keyboard interface without having to do the little move the cursor one letter on at a time on a virtual keyboard or an on-screen keyboard. You know, it just takes that way. Really nice design. And that will wrap it up for CES 2026. We're going to go to break. And if you're watching the VOD, thank you for tuning in to the first Tech Friday of 2026 CES Roundup. Really appreciate your time. Come back next week for even more. If you're watching live, hey, there's more show. We're going to talk about a couple more CES things, get kind of in the little more unusual department. And there's some other topics I want to go over, but that'll be in the next half of the show, so stay tuned for that. Come around, and I will see you all in about 5 minutes. Stay tuned. right, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around through the break. Now's the time where I just talk about extra stuff, whatever. We relax. If you have something you want to talk about, throw it in chat. I'd appreciate if it was around TTRPGs or tech. I just got to check something really quick here. Had a thing pop up. Oh, I'll have to read through all that later. Okay. All right. So, let me check one more thing before we break off. Yeah, okay. We're good. All right. Yay. Yay, stuff that can wait a little bit. Okay, so here's a couple of, let's see here, both these on Engadget. So there was, of course, an adult section of CES. So, 18 and over only, please. I'm sharing the Engadget articles because anyone can look at Engadget articles and things like that. Just be aware these are, a lot of things. And there's two. One is called the Handy 2 Pro, which I don't think I need to say much more than that. You can attach it on the underside of a desk. And you can overclock it. So that's a thing. And the other is the LoveSense AI companion doll. But it's a thing that exists. And if you know what those things are, well, congratulations. That was the V2 of their first toy, yeah. Yeah, and then there was all sorts of robots. They're just at CES 2026. Switchbot. I couldn't think of the name. I know we just talked about adult things. I'm saying the word switch, but Switchbot. That's a ding. Switchbot, who makes this thing here, my temperature gauge, and they do a lot of home automation stuff. They control the lights that are above my head, not the lights I use streaming, but my LED bulbs. I can change their color and all that. They made a robot that has hands, and they showed it off doing chores, like it was putting it in an article of clothing into the laundry and starting the washing machine. And it took it a while to do it, but still there's a robot in existence, at least in a demo thing. They say it's going to be available this year yet, that can do these chores basically. And there were the, does it resemble a humanoid? It sorta. It's not, the face is kind of your robot with the two blue circular eye things, not human eyes. It has arms. I think it goes on wheels, so it's not quite. It has kind of the arm idea and a torso and legs, but give me the multi-limb murder machine in my home because more limbs is more stable, right? Let's see, where is it? No, CES. Yeah, they're doing a new smart home thing. Oh, I didn't realize they made the world's first AI tennis robot for real rally play either. But it's in this article here. We scroll down to the ONERO 1 H1 and you can kind of see it in action. Bring this back up. Oop. So there you go. There it is. Bringing someone a cup of tea. Putting a dish away. Folding laundry. And there was a lot of other robots. The lawnmower design got it got more advanced. There is it's kind of a monster of a thing. It's still on treads, but it can just go through grass that's really tall, like taller than you would have any lawn, like just overgrown things, and you just let it go, and just taking down grass the size of small boulders and things like that, just going over. Let's see. Let's exit that. And yeah, so CES, lots and lots of stuff. Check it out though. There's a couple other industry type events, kind of like a CES, that we'll go over as the year goes on. That more impact. There's one event that's specifically for broadcasting stuff, and then there's the Apple event, the Mobile World Congress every year. Those types of things. So we'll go over those as they come up. Let's see. Don't need that up. All right. There was another thing I want to go over. This will just take me a moment to set up. Because I want to show two things on the screen. Make sure there's nothing that can be... Okay. And where'd the other one go? There it is. No, I don't want that. Okay. So I was looking into office alternatives recently. And there was one that always came up, which was LibreOffice. And they just did a design update. And I have to say, it looks pretty good. probably going to be the one I wind up using just because it has a few more things attached to it. But I'll show you hide that one. Show you the main interface when you call it up. Like here you go. This looks great. I think if I expand this, go over here, you know, writer, spreadsheet, your PowerPoint, can draw formulas, kind of your Excel, template, all sorts of templates you can choose from for various things. If I just want to write, you know, a nice clean writer. Now you can, I did a tab view up here. You can set this if you want it more ribbon like. I just really like the tabs because it, you know, clearly defines these. But if you want the more Microsoft Word ribbon like idea, you can totally do that. The tabs just make it easier for me to notice the information I want to get to. But this is a very big graphics overhaul from what they had previously. Right, we can go into their PowerPoint. Again, you can see, or their version of PowerPoint, you can see all the things. They have template, comes right up. So yeah, I really like the design of this. Especially because you can do things like that, right? Oop. Hide the menu bar if you want. And then the other one also has a pretty cool interface. Let me bring that up. So that was LibreOffice. The other one is OnlyOffice. You know, instead of OnlyFans, it's OnlyOffice. And this too is pretty clean. Document, spreadsheet, presentation, PDF, all right here. If you go down here, you will notice this is AI agent, but you have to specifically give it a model you want to connect to. So if you never want to use AI, guess what? You don't have to. But this is another really clean looking thing. Again, here's their document layout. I like that everything you select is a tab up here, so I can automatically go back to the main menu, right? Or I can go to my document, OnlyOffice, and then if I wanted to have a PowerPoint open at the same time, now I have a PowerPoint, I have a Word, and I have the main menu open, and I can just close these as necessary. Right, now, if you go to the OnlyOffice web mouse, okay, there you are. If you go to the OnlyOffice website, they have a lot of options. The option you want, the one that is local, or the one I'm going to recommend, is the one that is local to your machine. And I think I have that link up in my Discord. Let me look for it just a moment. I thought I had it up here. Well, I thought I made it convenient for myself. Apparently, I did not. Oh, here we go. Yes, I did. Aha. So if you like the looks of OnlyOffice, you want to go to that URL that I just put in chat. So the onlyoffice.com/download dash desktop. And there's the online installer, or you can just download the exe or MSI, and it's local to your machine, and it doesn't have any of the AI stuff. So those are, out of all the different office replacement things, those two are kind of my favorites. Like I said, I wasn't going to go with LibreOffice, but then I looked at their recent update, and that just looks so good. I think it'll be well worth the time. And I'm going to try it out. Like, I have both on my computer, so I can make a decision. It's not like they take up a ton of space to have both. So if something doesn't work in one, maybe it'll work in the other. But if I have a need for an Office type app, I have an alternative other than the Microsoft stuff. And yeah, I would, if you're considering that, I would definitely either go with LibreOffice or OnlyOffice. As your choice. There are some others, but I didn't like them as much. Not that they're bad. It's just LibreOffice and OnlyOffice really appealed to me more visually and functionally than the other ones I was looking at. All right. So I'm going to start some music and keep it low, and we can talk about whatever today. Free open season. If you have questions about producing a TTRPG actual play, or you want to talk about my DMing style, or you want to talk about your DMing style, or the games you're playing, or the tech you like, or anything we talk about, go ahead, pop it in chat. I have some other things I'll be rambling on about. I was also looking at Office alternatives because I realized how little I use Office now that I have Obsidian, and that since Obsidian is sort of does all my is my writing tool and handles most of my creative projects, I really don't need to be paying for Microsoft Office. So now there are some situations where your work has some specific function that only works in Microsoft Office, and then you're gonna obviously need Office. But for home use, for everyday stuff, and even professional stuff, there's a lot of things you don't need Office anymore for. And since I brought up Obsidian, of course we're going to talk about Obsidian. It's Tech Friday. Well, I shouldn't just say it's Tech Friday, but of course we're going to talk about Obsidian because you're on my stream. That's just how that works. And I've been really encouraging people to write in in Markdown. We just got Obsidian approved for install at work, and I am waiting for the installer to go live. Woohoo! Yay! So good. But the one thing I've been really encouraging people to do is to look at the Markdown syntax and just write things in Markdown. It's very human readable. And it's extremely functional. Functional. I can say words on occasion. And you don't have to look at some sort of weird code or anything and go, what is this? But Brian, Urban Bohemian, posted this in my Discord. And this is an article by Anil Dash. And if you don't know of Anil Dash, they have been writing and journaling about tech for a couple decades now. So they've been involved with some really great products. Definitely know what they're talking about. And Anil has an article about how Markdown took over the world. And it's a really great piece. Neil goes through the history of it, and when it was created, why, the differences of it, how much stuff Markdown actually powers now. And there's some great digs at other companies in there that are thinly veiled. But really good writer. One of those rare long form pieces of tech writing you don't see so often anymore. And I just really enjoy the work of Anil Dash. So if you want to learn about Markdown, as I continually and will keep talking about it, check out that article when you have a moment. It is a longer read, but it's well written and well worth the time. All right. So yeah, even if you don't like Obsidian, I do encourage start writing things in Markdown if you're not. And also use Obsidian, because Obsidian's pretty great. But that's why I like Markdown, is because if something should happen to Obsidian, or they do something and you're like, I gotta steer away from them, I basically have, there's a couple things in Obsidian that I like that I'd miss, but I still have all of my words in a readable format that I don't have to have any special software to read. I can open them in any text editor and still understand what's going on. And kind of a companion piece to this discussion is a video about the point of Obsidian isn't Obsidian, and this is a really good breakdown of what Obsidian is, how it functions, why it's good. It's not a sponsored video. They're very clear on it. It's a very well edited video as well. It is just about 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 54 seconds long. So also worth checking out. And this, this video came up in my YouTube feed, and this person does just great editing work on their videos. So check them out, and check out that video too if you're interested in Obsidian, or someone goes, why should I use Obsidian? This does a pretty good job of being kind of that neutral voice in a way. So check that out. After the stream, of course. And what else do I have? Oh, yeah. We should talk about this other thing that came up, and thanks to Brian for mentioning this, is that if you still have your Twitter account, if you want anything off your Twitter account, get it now. And then, if you want to save your name, find a service to delete all your Twitter posts. But if you just delete your account, everything goes away too. So if you don't care about having your name anymore reserved on Twitter, that's fine too. But January 15th, they're going to be enacting a policy change where they do the standard boilerplate of, you give us the right to use your content, blah, 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 because they need to, it's the boilerplate of, we need to say these things so that the things we have function for you, right? We have some right to your content, not that belongs to us, but we need this in order to publish and function. We're kind of used to that kind of language. However, they added something, and then here's my post. I have a link to their new terms of service that, like, don't get me wrong, X, I should call it X because X is doing a lot of horrible things on the platform. But also that as of when January 15th hits, their terms of service says, you agree that this license includes the right for us to analyze text and other information you provide and to otherwise provide, promote, and improve the services, including, for example, for use with training of our machine learning and artificial intelligence models, whether generative or another type. And as far as anyone knows, according to some other reporting, you can't opt out. So if you follow that Blue Sky post and what Brian posted about how to download and use your Twitter archive, do that now, because mine took 24 hours to appear, and if it's longer, it may take a little longer, because you want this done by January 14th. Because January 15th is when that new policy goes into place. And here is I'll just give you the link to the YouTube video as well. There's the direct link to the YouTube video on how to get all your stuff, and it comes out as a zip file, but it does take time for them to put everything together. To be fair, they were probably already doing that extra AI stuff. Now it's just explicit. Yeah. Hi, Springleaf. Welcome on in. Left a while back and did all this. Don't remember what tools I used at the time. Yeah. And so I thought about deleting, but then I thought, oh, maybe I want to at least hold on to my handle there just in case. You know, like this way no one can take my handle and do something with it because it's still mine. So I'm trying to find a service or something that'll allow me just to batch delete my posts. So if you have any recommendations, by all means, let me know. And yeah, thank you for the stream streaking, yay! I was on a different tab, so I had to switch back to see that. Thank you, Leaf. Streamers may still have contracts that include X among social media deliverables, so leaving is an option for everyone, but deleting all your posts, yep. Yeah, that too. That's another excellent point. Yeah, I changed my profile image. I deleted most of the information off my bio. I just need something that deletes the post now. But yeah, so you have until it's at the time of this recording, it's January 9th. And so you have until the 14th to get rid of everything. And you're going to want to, if you think there's something valuable in your, I mean, it takes stuff from your direct messages, any pictures, everything, bundles it all up and gives you a large zip file that you can put on a hard drive. Like I immediately took that file and I have it on a portable drive. So if there is something, you know, a picture or mostly the pictures that were on there, in case I don't have them anywhere else, I have an extra backup of those. But it can take at least 24 hours, maybe longer. So if you're not doing this on the 13th, it is going to be your very last day, you know, in theory. But it could take 48 hours or, you know, so if you're leaving and you think there's something valuable there, get that done now. But yeah, I did the give me all my stuff at 10 p.m. one day, and then 10 p.m. the next day, I got an email saying, "Hey, this is ready for you to download." And just follow the steps in that YouTube video. Don't stress, since most X content was public already and therefore has likely been scraped in the past. True. But after past week's events, nah, I'm out. Yep. But yeah, so I wanted you all to have enough time to take care of these things. should it be a concern for you to do it, at least there's still time to take care of it. With the caveats that Brian has already mentioned. All right, we're gonna look around for. Oh wait, there was one more thing I think. Let's see here. Okay, I'm waiting for a thing. I talked about at the end of 2025. I talked about I want to make a zine this year, and I think I know how I want to do that. Let's see. I'm just waiting on an invite to the service I want to use to go through. But it you know, it's like, okay, join my Discord and then send me a message about it. So I did that, and then I just gotta wait. It's like one guy running the service I'm thinking about using to do this with. Where did I put that? Put that here. Maybe I put it here. Anyway, it's of course going to use Obsidian. And it's going to use the digital. I'm going to be using the Digital Garden plugin, community plugin. And then for the hosting of it, there's a couple options, but the person who makes the Digital Garden is creating a service called Forestry, which is currently in alpha testing. So hoping my account gets set up so I can start testing that. And then eventually, hopefully, charges for the service once it gets out of alpha test. But if you're interested in that, that's that. And so I'll be kind of doing a zine and a digital garden. How cute. You're right? Yeah. And that way I can just type it in Obsidian and then have it ready to go and publish. And I'm going to do it once a month, but those are the services I'll be using. So Obsidian with the Digital Garden and the Forestry plugin should, you know, and they all designed to talk to each other. And once I get it up and running, I'll tell everybody about it. All right. Take a look at things that may have happened while we've been on. And again, if there's any bits of tech you saw that you really like over the past week, let me know about it. Let's see. All right. I'm just looking at articles that might Guess I should have read everything before saying it's cute. All right, completely breaks. Okay. Nothing I want to talk about there. Talked about all that stuff already. Oh, here's... I just saw this today, but here is an article from Engadget about IXI. I don't know how to pronounce this. IXI's autofocusing lenses are almost ready to replace multifocal glasses. So the idea is, as you're looking, you'll see it'll detect where your eyes are looking, and then it will focus on that, and it'll take like less than half a second to do it. These are prototypes right now, but interesting idea. It's one of those proof of concept things. It's not quite a product just yet, but it's like, hey, here, this is a working thing, and now they just need to get medical certifications. And some other things, but yeah, so they kind of go, here's our concept. Kind of tech is going to be a game changer for new tech that relies on close-up eyes from the user. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's pretty great. All right, see what else we have. Oh, we've gone through all that. Oh, said while removing their glasses after wondering why the TV was blurry. Right? Yeah, I like the idea. I hope they get through their other hurdles, because, you know, if they're a decent price, I'd be like, yeah, I'd be about that. HP has something called the new Elite Board, which is a computer in a keyboard. Now, you're probably not going to do any hardcore gaming on it, obviously, but, you know, you just carry this keyboard around and it's your entire computer. And let's see what else we got. Alright, not finding anything other interesting right there. There's so much stuff we've already talked about that do. And there's also a lot of stuff I just didn't really have an interest in that you may find exciting. So if there is something I missed that you want to talk about, by all means, I'll take a look at it. there anything coming out of CES that's striking you as a 2026 game changer? Not necessarily a game changer. I think the click keyboard thing, more people should talk about those. But I think that there are more interesting, wider variety of interesting products this year than there was last year. You know, we're going to be seeing more talk about micro RGB, new foldable screens. But there wasn't one particular thing where I'm like, oh, that's it. That's definitely the thing. But there's definitely a lot more this year where I'm like, okay, this is a lot of cool stuff. Where last year I was like, well, yeah, a bunch of robots are kind of neat. We saw a few of them come to market, and I was like, eh. But this year has a lot more things that I think will appeal to more people. Yeah, 2025 was definitely the year of the robot. Yep. What I'm not hearing a lot of are the two letters. Yeah. And there was a fair amount of that stuff, but of course I'm not going to be talking about that here. And yeah, you know, that's always good that there's stuff that's still fascinating without those two letters. Think that it's just baked in at this point, like 4K or HD. So yeah, definitely the big tech is I think the big tech is the micro RGB screens. That will have, as more stuff comes out for that will have probably a bigger impact on the most of us. NVIDIA's presentation at CES to not be very consumer focused. Yeah, I agree. We talked about that earlier. NVIDIA's presentation was definitely more on the, you know, industry side of things than, oh, hey, it's the new whatever X2 Turbo Plus graphics card coming out. And oops. All right, I was going to look at TTRPG stuff, but definitely we can keep talking about tech as I look for TTRPG things. Still kind of in the ramping up of the year, and you know, we're getting to the point of people announcing more things. CES is one of the main shows where we'll get stuff. Let's see here. Okay. All right, not seeing a lot there to talk about just yet. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to be running my first Shadow Dark campaign for my home group, and I'll be talking about that on Monday. And speaking of Shadow Dark, they did have a very successful Kickstarter last year for they have a main campaign setting book out, or coming out, called The Western Reaches, and if you backed, you've been able to get the pieces of it as it's come out, because the Western Reaches is going to be some new rules, a world setting, and taking all the information that they've collected, because they put out what they call zines called Cursed Scrolls, and there's 6 of those, and they've been adding a class here, a new mechanic here, as they've been doing it, and they're going to be Cursed Scroll number 5 is going to come out soon, and you can get them separately. But if you were a backer of the project, they send, as they finish 4, 5, and 6, they send you a link, and you can go download that and the playtest material that'll eventually be in the Western Reaches book, because the Western Reaches book is gonna just collect all of this stuff in one spot. And so just the other day, they released a playtest of their version of a Necromancer. I have that downloaded. That'll be fun. And then as soon as the PDF is done, which should be in, or as soon as they have the PDF done, that'll go out to backers, and then it'll be another few months before the book's got to get made and all that, and so that'll take another few months. But since I backed, I'll have the PDF version of the Western Reaches in another month or so. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Looking forward to how this runs and how my group likes it. It's, different experience for all of us. But we'll talk about that on Monday, and then get back into Suikoden 2, which I just starting and really enjoying. All right. Look at that. So if you have any other things you want to talk about or bring up, now's the time to do it. We'll go another couple minutes here, but otherwise we're going to look for somebody to raid. Over to who is on. Let's see here. Okay, I think I have a raid target. All right, so next week be a regular stream week. Monday and Tuesday, video games. Wednesday, craft day. Thursday, back to video games. Friday, Another Tech Friday. What will we be talking about? I don't know yet. I mean, CES happened, now, and that was a big thing. What comes up next week? Who knows? It'll be a surprise to all of us. And if you want to join my Discord, all you have to do is back me either on Coffee or on my Patreon or a monthly Twitch subscription, and I will send you a link. Let's see, does that bot still work? It does! Look at that! Yay. There's all sorts of talks going on, and you get to see all the rabbit holes I go down. So come on by, join us there. Once again, you can find me everywhere, DC Lasair. !DC in chat. Go to my website. Follow me on Blue Sky. Those are the places. Alright, we are going to go raid... Let's go raid Dre. That'd be great. And so thank you all for being here. Have a great weekend. I will see you all on Monday. Please stay tuned for the raid. And be kind to yourselves. Be kind to each other. And, come on by Monday. It'll be fun. It'll be great. See you then. Bye.